Hello everybody, my name is Christian Quick, and welcome back to another video. It has been a little bit since we have made a block. I am going to copy all the way up to new, and we're going to Control C, and then we are going to Control V, and let's name what we are naming first. So we're going to be making something called a toffee flower, not flower, and then we're going to make it again toffee flower. All right, and then this new, we're going to need some of the new stuff. Let's look up the blocks folder from the official Minecraft. Control F. Let's look up the dandelion because looking up rose will bring up the bush. I like the rose bush. We're going to take everything up until flower block, and then we are just going to paste it in here. It's going to tell us that there is a problem. This is because we tell in our registry that we need there to be a mod block, so we are just going to, we're going to have to add one. Let's also, from effect duration, let's add a little thing here, and then offset type, just so that you can see this a little bit better. So let's add a comma here, and then let's do the mod item group, so make sure that you're one parenthesis in when you add that comma, but then we're going to do mod blocks, and now everything is fine. I would also add, if, like, I would add a dot non-opaque. So non-opaque will help with the texture that we're going to make. Non-collision means that you cannot collide with it, break instantly, breaks instantly, has all the sound of grass. Offset. Offset is the way that when I place it on the ground, it shows that it like the flower will never be in like the center of the block all the time. It's always like random. So it's offsetting the x and z coordinate in positive and negative manners. So that is all that's doing. So that is basically all put together. So we can just put this in one line and forget about it basically. Um, let's go and we're gonna come down here, and I already have it basically looked up, but I'll just kind of pull it up again. Simply just if I just look up dand simply, here is everything to do with a dandelion. And the first thing that we're gonna need is the block state. So even if this should be a simple one. Usually it's the third one is the block states. Do I have to do it like this? Yeah, block states. So we're going to click on this, and then we're just going to add a new block state. So we're going to call it the toffee flower.json, and then we are just going to copy this, Control C, and then we're going to Control V, and then make sure your Minecraft turns into HMH3, and your dandelion turns into toffee flower. I'm going to copy toffee flower because I'm going to type it a couple times. Control C. And then we're also going to make a lang file, and it's so Control D, put a little comma here, and then I finally get to use my paste here, and then we're gonna toffee flower. All right. So then there is two more, well, yeah, two more things basically. So there is your block, because it is a block, it's going to need one. New file, toffee flower. So this is going .json. This is going to be talking about what does the what is the block texture that we're basically using for when it is placed in the world. So we're going to Control C and then Control V. So this isn't a texture that's on all sides. It's called cross. So cross is when you take two textures, two-dimensional textures, and with that, you want to put them perfectly perpendicular with one another, and that way it kind of gives like a 3D effect. It's really interesting. And then the last thing that we're basically going to need is the item model. So this one is, because it is a two-dimensional texture, this will just show that two-dimensional texture, because that's like how the item is in your hand, is the item model. So we're going to look the toffee. uh, flower.json. So we're going to put it in here. Control C, Control V. And then from here, you change your Minecraft, HMH3. Change this to Toffee flower. And that is it. So now we are up to textures. And so we're going to need to make a block texture for this thing. So let's make a texture and then see how it looks. Here it is, me, Mr. Editor. Nothing too big. I got the inspiration from the traditional Minecraft rose because I always loved the traditional Minecraft rose. I was trying to find a color, and I want to go with light brown because that's a color that's not in Minecraft. There's regular brown, but there isn't a light brown, so I'm gonna make a light brown. Beyond that, if you think that we are going to be, I'm going to be talking about just about everything, like even the dyeing of sheep with using the dye. It's a little cheeky how I do it, but when it comes down to the three things I'm not going to be making, I'm going to mention this again in the next video. But box, bed, and banner, those are the three things that I will not be showing. I still struggle with them, but eventually, hopefully, one day they'll be in there. But I'll show you everything else: concrete powder, glass panes, candles. Paintings will also be in this chapter, but and animated ones. But I just wanted to quickly mention that out there. But with that in mind, let's get back into the video. We have this in the game now, so all we have to do is add in the last thing. So we're just going to have to put in the instance, the render.get cut out. So this is to make sure that the blank space of the texture is not black. So with that, we are going to need to call this the toffee flower. And from there, everything should all be done. Here we are in our beautiful Minecraft world. So if I look up the toffee flower, it works in our thing. If we place a good four of them, you'll notice that none of them are in the exact center of the block. Now, it does stay the same per the block, but every time I place it, you can tell that this is just an unsymmetrical mess. So that is our toffee flower. If anybody says anything about these looking orange, I thought on an RGB scale, how does one make brown? This is as close as I'm gonna get. Brown is a shade of orange, but if anyone directly comes at me and tells me that it looks orange, no. This is brown. Get your eyes checked. There's nothing wrong with my eyes. They're all 100% yours. They're brown, trust me. So, now let's say that when I'm in survival and I now am in contact with these flowers, I want it to give me some sort of effect, and what better place to use that than the Wither Rose? Alright, so what we're going to do, close all tabs because we're basically done. The flower is working as intended. So from here, we are just going to need to look up in our mod blocks again. We're going to look up the Row, Wither Rose. Oh, and there it is, the Wither Rose block. And so from here, let's go in our blocks, and then we're going to make a toffee rose. Yeah, we'll call it block. Toffee rose block. And then we're just going to, so that is now a flower block, basically, but we are going to copy this whole thing, as we normally would. Control C. Uh, extends the flower block. I probably could have copied this too because they are the same, but what the heck. Alright, come to the top, fix that one thing. So we got the toffee rose block. Suddenly everything is fine. So from here, you can plant it on top of netherrack, soul sand, soul soil. I think that is talking about in addition to the things that you could normally plant it on. But I don't see why we can't. If you don't want it, get rid of it. But if I use the thing, I mean, it should be able to plant on anything that's a plant block. Random tick display. So this is gonna smoke. If you don't want it to smoke, you can literally just say, yeah, No, we don't want that. Or even if you just don't want this in general either, you don't want to put it on that fancy stuff, that's fine. The damage source would be that you're not getting damage. It's basically saying if you're invulnerable to the damage source, will you get the effect? And it's not just saying like, are you invulnerable? It's got this exclamation mark, which means not. So this is saying if you are not a living entity that is invulnerable to living damage, then it'll give you this. That is always true for the player. So you will always get the effect. Now, we chose that it was going to be the mining fatigue, mining fatigue, and that is that. So we can get rid of all this extra stuff that we are basically not using because we don't need it. And then from here, all we need to do is call the block. So we'll go in, not our wither rose, in our mod blocks, and then we're going to call this flower block. We're going to call it the toffee flower, or toffee rose block. Oh, now we got a problem. I don't know what I fixed. I just told it to fix it for me, and it did. I'm assuming that is talking about for this integer. Not too sure at all. I just know it fixed it for me. Let's go into the world. Let's reload it, double check, make sure everything is working fine, and that I didn't break anything. Here we are back in our beautiful Minecraft world, and you can see that I do get the mining fatigue. It is now in the previous video, I was talking about numbers flashing. This is what I'm talking about with the jittery. It doesn't know if it wants to be a 1 or 2, and then it's on and off. But I got the mining fatigue. There still breaks instantly, so there's that. And then let's add a let's see if we can add a loot table to this. Loot table generator, mod blocks, add drop, and then from here we would just put in the toffee flower. I'm also going to add the boom block and XP block because I just haven't added them, and I forgot what exactly they do. So we are going to run the data gen, and then we are going to run the client again, and then make sure that the loot table is now working, and then and then if it is, we'll call it a day. Ah, this problem. I still have this problem, and it looks like I'm gonna need to fix it. No more stalling. I've been doing some researching, and we're gonna test this together. So basically, when I run the data gen, I think it doesn't like it in my uninitialize, and so we're gonna take it out of there. We're gonna put it in the client, and let's just shove it in here. Because it's still on the uninitialize, and then we're gonna run the data generation. I made sure that everything is still there, but hopefully data gen will now run properly, no problems. Build successful. Look at that, beautiful. All right, whew, that one had me worried. I remember saying in a previous video that I thought that this was broken. Um, yeah, so it turns out that was the solution. I had opened up a lot of things, and I was testing some stuff, and that was it. That was literally it. So now my stuff is now working. We got the 3 blocks that I wasn't able to add. They're now added. With it in mind, that is all fixed. We can now run the client. The loot table generator should now drop itself. That is, I'm glad I was able to get that fixed. That would have bothered me forever. Not really. I would have figured it out eventually, but that is an interesting. I'm not exactly too sure why. I just know that I don't know, it was saying the bootstrap, and I just moved the uninitializer to the client side, so maybe it's because something has to do with the client. I have no idea. No, literally no idea. What is locked by another? All right, that was that was very strange. All right, here we are. We can break it, pick it up, break it, pick it up. So now we have the flowers, and they are also break instantly. We got the toffee flower. It's labeled perfectly, just how I want it to. I don't know why you want a mining fatigue flower. It doesn't have to be a mining fatigue flower, but every time you step on it, it does that. You can change this to whatever you want. Take it with you. You got your beautiful flower. That is basically it. Should it have the rose? I don't know. I know toffee flowers are a real thing. Toffee. The toffee flower. This rose has a lot of thorns and a light fragrance. So the answer is yes. That is where I am going to draw the line on this video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and without further ado,